positive aspects in the society is actually a result of social reforms. Like what? Look at the name. Liberation of individual from conformity out of fear psychosis. Seriously. So there is a mental trauma humans undergone, individuals undergone because lack of knowledge, more ignorance, and there's no clarity of concept of God actually. Same happened in ancient, medieval, and modern times. These philosophers, what they do, they try to simplify the way how you can live your life. Philosophers, but the religious people, what they do, they try to complicate things. This complication actually made that God is unreachable, omnipotent, omniscient. Now, when you see this kind of metaphors, you understand that He is beyond your reach and capacities. Reformers said, "See the God in the other man." Like Vivekananda said, "Daridra Deva Bhava," serving mankind is serving God. You understand what I'm saying? Number two, worship made more personal affair. Beautiful line. That means the personal laws are now going to be clearly drawn. A private laws and the personal laws. They'll clearly draw a distinction. This is your area. This is within your four walls, you can do your personal affairs. Anything that comes after is called a civil issue. Are we clear about it? They were able to draw a line. This is why today you call the concept of secular. There's a positive concept of secular state, negative concept of secular state. Negative here refers to state will not interfere in the religion, I repeat. State will not interfere in the religion. This is followed by America and the European countries. Are we clear? India follows a positive concept of secular state. Positive meaning state can interfere. State can interfere and also interpret the religious scriptures on the basis on procedure established by law, or maybe it can be called as due process of law. See, the government of India today, Supreme Court of India today have a right to interfere in your religions. That's not the case in the America, that's not the case in the European countries. They clearly maintained a separation from the state. That's a negative, this is a positive. And our positive concept actually started from what? Clearly drawing the line between this is a personal affair, this is a... Are we clear? Cultural roots to the middle class, thus mitigating the sense of humiliation, much needed self-respect gain. Now, this is called promoting individualism and humanism. Think logically, the time you start saying that it's not a God-centric, it's a human-centric, this is a rationalism thought. The time rationalism, humanism obviously come together, immediate consequences, you know what? Dignity of labor is recognized. What a beautiful term. Dignity of labor, that means irrespective of your social profile. We appreciate your identity. You might be a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or you might be a BC, you might be a forward caste, doesn't matter. The profession what you're doing is not ill, it is dignity of labor. The time people start identifying that I am proud of what I'm doing, that's the beginning of labor reforms in India. Beginning of industrialization in India. Are we clear about it? Fostered secular outlook. Now this is something India been doing from very long time. Today you call the word secular because you bring a state also here in the perspective. In the ancient times, we talk in ancient medieval times, kings were tolerant. And there's a high possibility that if a king follows certain religious practices, his kingdom followed the same. And there's a priority was given accordingly. You understand what I'm saying? The secular outlook is today, irrespective of your majority, minority interest, state has a fixed stand. All religions are equal. There's no special treatment to certain religion. Irrespective of their proportion, we treat them all as equal. This evolved secular concept is a modern thought. Yeah. Encourage the social climate for modernization. This is the beginning of modernization. That is why Raja Ram Mohan Rai called as a modern man. Why? Modern thoughts indicating what we are going away from feudalism. We're coming to talk about what? It's more about a humanism, rationalism. You understand what I'm saying? Modern thoughts are ended India's cultural intellectual isolation from rest of the world. Prior, what we used to say that we were conservative, we never interact with the world. That's partly right. Right from very ancient times, we see that we had a trade with Romans and Greeks and medievals. We start building the borders, especially when we see that there is certain issues, challenges with that invasions. We also did that with the British, by the way. But now what happened, thanks to advent of English education, we were able to now interact with Europeans. What made an Irish lady to come to India and promote a Theosophical society? Now, that is something interesting. Clear? Evolution of national consciousness. Indirectly, we are proud to say that we are not a Hindu, we are not a Muslim, we are not a Sikh, but we are Indians. We are a common. Here we need to give credit to railways. When railways, biggest advantage of railways is that it led to people movement from place to place. When people move from place to place, a lot happens. When you move from place to place in terms of business or in terms of employment opportunities, what happens? You go and interact with others. When you go and interact with others, now you share your lifetime, your food habits, dressing style, etc. Once you start sharing, you start asking why this, why not. And this will lead to a doubt, questioning, and you get a clarity of thought. This is the biggest advantage happen. The north start coming to south, south start coming to north, moving to north. In this way, people able to move and they completely understood. End of the day, we look almost same. Little color difference, but we're all same. And British all called us black. Now that is good about British. They referred all as black. Here, black doesn't mean that literally you're literally people think it's just about a color. It's not just about color. It's about your it's about your makeup actually. It's about your legacy they talk about. People think that just because I look in a not a fair complexion, people call me black. You are born to Indians. Anyone outside the Europeans or anyone outside the white, a British white, even British called us Scottish as a black to some extent. You understand? Irish also black to some extent. People think that black is about a color. No, it's about your aboriginality. It's from your DNA makeup, genetic makeup, what they call. You understand what I'm saying? Michael Jackson was suffered a crisis. Racism went to when new heights where he peeled literally his own skin to prove that my opportunities are getting stuck because I look in different color. Business screens I talked about, by the way. So today it doesn't matter. Even you are a Mahesh Babu, if you go to abroad, they'll call you black. So black doesn't mean that it's just about the color. It's about who your ancestors are. Clear about it? Such a cruel identity, and that actually gave Indians a common humiliation. You understand? Evolution of national consciousness. We start thinking that our aspiration is beyond religious thought. All we need is what a political identity, political freedom, and that led to demand of a word called Swaraj. The concept of Swaraj is not from isolation; it's only from social reforms. Remember, Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Swaraj, self-rule.